All right, we're going to go ahead and welcome in our next live guest. And Preston, we are starting off a very special segment here on Business Air TV. We've got Pilot Pipeline launching. Tell us a little bit about this segment before we welcome our guest.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to explore from the inception all the way through retirement and everything in between. We've seen a huge need for pilots, especially in the U.S. because of this so-called pilot shortage, right? We've got the mainstream media is talking about it. It's in the news. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at different ways that we're going to solve it. So this is going to include everything from training programs, which we're going to hear from today. We're going to hear from universities and colleges. We're going to hear from retirement professionals to help people understand, what if I get into an aviation career, how great is it? We're also going to look at some of the technologies that are really shaping the industry, whether that's virtual reality, augmented reality, simulator training, and all of the likes. It's really going to be designed for us to explore every facet of the pilot pipeline so that we can better learn together how to solve the problem collectively as an industry as opposed to being siloed. So really excited to launch this segment this week. And we are here with James Constable. James is the Chief Marketing Officer at Airguard Flight Training Center. James, thanks for being here on Business Air TV.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And to be the first one on a new segment, that's very exciting. So thank you.
Of course.
we are excited to have you, and I think what you guys are doing is, it's the easiest place to look when we talk about the pilot pipeline because you're getting those folks in. Can you give us, if you can summarize in 90 seconds or less, what is it that you guys do at Aeroguard?
We train future professional airline pilots. So we have a pretty big domestic program. We have a partnership with SkyWest Airlines. We train students from zero experience through their commercial licenses, through to their CFIs. And then our goal is for all of those graduates to then become instructors for us, give them a path to build the 1,500 hours of flight time that they need, and then move on to the professional airlines. We also have a pretty big international program, international partnerships with airlines as well. So we're really becoming a destination for future pilots from around the world to join us and start their career and become professional aviators.
James, I've got a question for you for the international students. I don't know if you know this, but Michael Wilds, who was on the show earlier, he's a business writer for us, is from Jamaica, was an international student, went to college, and went through ATP. What is Aeroguard doing to help some of those maybe international students so that we can retain the top talent here for America's pilots' needs? What does Aeroguard do to help that? What's the process like for them? Is there counseling available? Is there, legal support? What are you guys doing to help ensure that the best talent stays here when you train them here in America?
We're able to offer student visas, so students from around the world can come, be in the U.S., train here, learn within the system, the training environment that we have that I think is unique within the world. Unfortunately, after that, for us, like I said, it's a student visa, so for the steps after that, we would have to look to the airlines or other, 135 in terms of making sure that the best of the best is able to stay here in the U.S.
It's interesting to know that we can attract talent like that, but then have that retention issue coming to keep them on a secondary visa. Like, we almost need kind of the streamlined opportunity to get them quickly through the legal system. James, when you talk about training aviators who want to go into the many different facets of the aviation industry, maybe they're looking at becoming those CFIs, they're looking at becoming an airline pilot, maybe they're looking at working in international airlines. How do you help determine students' avenues coming out of these training centers or training exercises when there's so many different places to go and the choices can be kind of overwhelming?
Yeah, that's true. So like I said, a lot of our students start with us, they have zero prior experience. So, we take them through all of the training, through their commercial licenses. We do take them through their CFI licenses as well. I think even at the moment, having just a commercial license and, let's say 200 hours of flight time, it's going to be hard to get on with a 135 operator or anything like that. And obviously they need the 1,500 hours to move on to the airlines. So we do offer them that path to become a CFI, and that's the case for a lot of our students. But I think even within that, once they start instructing, they learn more about the industry. We have guest speakers come to campus, talk to students. We have kind of workshops and seminars and that kind of thing. So even after they've been with us for a while and they have, say, 500 hours and opportunities start to open up for them, they know a lot more about the industry at that point. They understand the different opportunities, and for some, that's the path they want to go. For some, it's a case of getting to the airlines as quickly as possible. Like I said, we have a partnership with SkyWest Airlines, so they're involved as well in kind of mentorship and everything. But yeah, I mean, really, once they're here, they have a lot of opportunities. They have a lot more understanding about the industry and the many paths that can take to kind of fulfill their own dreams.
So I want to ask you a question about the college degree requirement. How has that impacted a school like yours, the college degree requirement that most airlines, if not all, are dropping? You don't have to have a college degree anymore to work at an airline. How does that affect a company like Aeroguard? Does it mean that you have more people applying? Do you have people opting for a program like yours versus college? And are you having to do any additional filtering that you may not have had to do previously?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I think what we're seeing at the moment, I mean, we're certainly seeing a lot of growth. I think on the college side as well, they're seeing a lot of growth. So like you said, the pilot shortage, it seems like it's all over the news headlines. There's a lot of attention. There's a lot of growth. There's a lot of, prospective students and future pilots out there that are very much interested. So, I mean, we do have a couple of partnerships with universities. I think our accelerated path has always been our kind of main offering that we have out there, and it is a case of, if the degree is not necessarily required for the career, it's a case of getting to the airlines as quickly as possible, starting the seniority, get your foot on that ladder. That's going to benefit you for the rest of your career and the earnings that kind of translates to. So we're definitely seeing a lot of growth within that program of, people looking to essentially get their ratings as quickly as possible, get to the airlines, start earning money. One of our recommendations from that point is, you're always able to get college credit for those FAA licenses. So it's always something to evaluate at that point, but kind of it makes sense to start building the seniority and start going from there. But at the same time, I think for some people, going to college or university, there's a kind of growing up process that's going on there. I think for some people, that's a big kind of rite of passage that they want to go through, and something that they want to experience. I think there's a lot of growth there. We recently actually signed a new agreement with Arizona State University, so I know there's a lot of interest over there. There's a lot of students in that program, so I think there's many ways to get there, and we're seeing good growth on both sides.
Speaking of partnerships and news coming out from you guys at Aeroguard, you guys just released the news that you signed an agreement with Cathay Pacific to get on brand with a partnership with their airline. Can you talk to us a little bit about the decision to partner with them and what opportunities now this will bring forward for your students?
Yeah. I mean, we're very excited about this opportunity. So Cathay Pacific's one of the best airlines in the world, I think. They have a great reputation. They have a very strong training department. So I know we actually started this process with them a couple of years ago. And obviously the industry's kind of been through a lot there, but they did pretty much a global search looking to find the right partner for their program, and we're really honored that they picked us going through the whole program. So we're very excited about this. Obviously, from everything we're seeing and hearing these days, you talked about the pilot shortage here in the US, but I think really it's a global problem, and as we see all of the growth kind of coming out of the pandemic, a lot of pilots are going to be needed. So we're working very closely with them. I mentioned earlier, for our domestic students, we want to make sure that everyone that comes through the Aeroguard program has a path to get to the airlines. So within the US, that's not only getting the commercial license, but also building to be at the 1,000 or 1,500 hours. So for us, the international kind of partnerships and the international cadets mean that we always have a lot of students for our graduates to become instructors and to train and build their hours and have that pathway to the airlines. So we're very excited to be in this partnership with Cathay Pacific, but we're also very excited about the opportunity that enables our students here and our graduates to make sure when they become instructors, there's a lot of students to teach and a lot of hours to build as well.
I want to drill down on that last thing that you were talking about how you've got this beautiful, we talk about pipeline, right? You go from zero, you get your training, you get your CFI, and now you have more students to train. One comment that we've heard from universities that they're having with a problem is as soon as they hit the number that they need, or even a little bit before, they're getting recruited out by either the airlines or a Part 135, or even another flight instruction operation that can offer to pay them maybe $1 or $2 more per hour, or a few bucks more per lesson, and they're out the door. How do you retain those CFIs? Because in order for a model like yours to work, you have to have both the input and the actual training happening in order to output those pilots to the airlines. So what do you guys do to keep those CFIs in the pipeline? And a follow-up question to that is, how many hours on average are they exiting your program, kind of your the zero to airline pathway?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of part of the industry, right? So we know that for the vast majority of our students, they are going to become instructors with us, and when they hit that 1,500-hour mark, they're going to be gone. They're going to go to the airlines. That's kind of part of the nature of the beast, but that's also really our goal, right? Like, our goal is to start them on their career, help them have a pathway to build those hours, move on to the professional airlines, and to some extent, we expect and we understand that. We also, quite frankly, we have a lot of our instructors that hopefully I can say they like it here, right? So they like being home with their family every night. They like kind of that experience of teaching new students and seeing them kind of grasp the concepts and the reward that gives and everything like that. So as they build up their hours, tick over, say, 1,000 hours, become stage trek instructors with us, gain some more responsibilities. So we try and have a percentage of those instructors who stay with us. But yeah, for the most part, we know that they're going to leave at 1,500 hours, and frankly, that's kind of why we're here. We started them on their career. We've enabled that. They're able to do it, and we send them off with the kind of best of luck and best wishes for their future career. That's really what we're trying to do here, is give them a strong foundation that's going to set them up for the rest of their life. So it's kind of part of the industry.
James, well, this has been really enlightening. We appreciate it. And if the audience wants to find out more about Aeroguard, one way they can do that is by going to the flight school guide and seeing how flying stacked Aeroguard up against the competition on diversity of fleet, on airline partnerships, and the like. If they don't want to go there and they want to find out some more about you, where can they go?
Yeah. If they want to skip that step, they can go to flyaeroguard.com. Or any of the social channels. It's the same, Fly Aeroguard. So FLYAEROGUARD, Fly Aeroguard.
Awesome, James. Well, as we continue this conversation on the pilot pipeline, for your next announcement, we'll have you back on Business Air TV. Thanks so much for being here.
All right. Thank you for having me.